Welcome to the Essence of Spirituality podcast. I'm your host, Apostle Michelle. Join me as we dive into the profound connection between nature and spirituality and discovering how it enriches our lives. Each episode features a spiritual message drawn from spirit art, a modern parable that Jesus might tell in today's world, and practical tips on nurturing spirituality. And this week, it will be about nature. Tune in for a journey of self-discovery, mindfulness, and the timeless wisdom found in the embrace of the natural world. Welcome to a space where spirituality and nature converge. I am so excited to show you the art piece that was created this week and what message it brings. So what I did is I started drawing, for some reason, a tree with a tree trunk. That's not how it ended up, though. But I just felt drawn to draw a tree with the limbs coming out. And then all of a sudden, I'm going, wait a minute, this isn't supposed to be a tree. This is supposed to be something else. And I realized it's supposed to be somebody's head that is wearing a headpiece that has horns coming out of her head, okay, and flowers growing, and there's leaves that are going out to these flowers. So what I decided to do is I colored her hair kind of a reddish brown, golden, and she's wearing, again, like I said, a headpiece. It's the back of her head, and it has some energy that's actually from her middle of the head that is going into the leaves and feeding them with love energy and nutrients. And so she's also wearing leaves on her headdress. And as you look at the flowers, there's flowers at the very end of these horns. And there's sky. She's just looking out at the sky. You can't see her face at all. It's only to see her from behind so that you can get the viewpoint. She's looking up into the sky. And, whenever I look at it, you can also see that it could be a mountain shape. It could be a tree. It could be a variation of things. And I really love the different perspectives that it can give to you. So let me go ahead and read the message. You are the mountains, trees, and flowers. You are nature, and nature is you. Nature your body as you would when taking care of Mother Earth. The more energy and nutrients your body intakes, the more you can grow and bloom your own energy. Surround yourself with nature. You and nature can increase the divine energy on earth. The more you are one with nature, the more you will carry the divine energy. And I wrote down my name, Michelle. And I know I have told you before, whenever I explain spiritual art, that a lot of times I'm not taking credit because I just feel like there's another energy, a spirit that is helping me complete the painting. And then I get a name at the very end. But this week was a little bit different. So I felt into the painting. I did feel that I had spiritual presence with me, but it was more of a support system. And then whenever I started channeling the message, I was not getting any words. So what I usually do when I channel a message after I paint, I can hear what they want me to write. So I almost like dictate what they're telling me to write down. This week was a little bit different. I feel like I'm being challenged, okay, by spirit. So this time I felt into it. I did not hear words. I looked at the picture. I looked at the painting, and I felt into what the message would be. And then I asked for a name, and there was no name that was coming up. And I all of a sudden felt like it was me. It was my soul that was painting this. It was my soul that was giving us this message, my true self. And so I allowed this to happen. And I heard you put your name down because it was your soul. You're the one that brought it. And I found it very interesting because last week I talked about how the answers are inside you. Everything that you need to know is inside you. And a lot of times we don't give our soul credit for what it gives us intuitively. And this week was no exception. So again, I felt like I was being challenged. And I felt like I was given the message, the answers are in you, Michelle. And so this message came from my soul. And I hope that it helps you this week really tune into nature and tune into your soul and tune into yourself. So, what we're going to do next is I am going to start a story that if Jesus, and I absolutely love Jesus, if he was here today, what story would he tell us? What message would he tell us? How to connect in with nature, how to make nature a part of our lives so that we can become more spiritual. So here you go. The Wisdom Tree, a modern parable of nature and spirituality. Jesus began, "Listen, my friends, to a tale about interconnectedness of nature and spirit. In a world consumed by the hustle and bustle of modern life, there was a community that had lost touch with the beauty and balance of the natural world." He continued, "In the heart of the city, there stood a magnificent skyscraper, tall and imposing. At the very top, a successful executive named Sarah worked tirelessly day and night. She was driven by ambition and the pursuit of material wealth, unaware that her soul was slowly withering. One day, Jesus said, Sarah decided to take a break and went to the nearby park. As she sat beneath the shade of a mighty oak tree, a gentle breeze whispered through its leaves, and the sun rays dappled the ground. In that moment, she felt a connection with something greater than herself. The tree, with its roots anchored deep in the earth, represented the groundedness of a physical existence. Its branches reached toward the heavens, symbolizing the spiritual aspects of life. Sarah realized that, like the tree, she needed roots in both the material and spiritual realms to truly thrive. From that day forward, Sarah found moments of stillness in nature. She cultivated a garden on her apartment balcony and surrounded herself with vibrant energy of living things. As she nurtured the plants, she nurtured her soul. In the quiet moments of reflection, Jesus said, Sarah discovered the divine presence within and around her. She understood that just as the seasons change, so too do the seasons of the human spirit. Through this balance, she found a deep sense of peace and purpose. Well, I hope that you enjoyed hearing this story that Jesus might have told if he was living among us today. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you some pointers how you can increase your essence of spirituality by connecting with nature. So let's look at the first one, mindful walking. And this is very important. Mindful walking is almost like you're meditating, but you're still aware of your surroundings. But you're feeling all of the energy. And whenever it says mindful walking, it doesn't mean walking through the city streets or through a neighborhood. You need to really find a park that you feel comfortable with and you feel drawn to. Drawn to is the number one word. And it could be a small neighborhood park, it could be out in the wilderness. But what you do when you do the mindful walking is you look around you and you may see a bird. Well, what significance is this? Why do you see a bird now? Why did a bird decide to make itself known to you at that certain time? If you're walking by a pond, why all of a sudden did you see a fish jump out? Why did you all of a sudden see a duck fly? So all of this could be very mindful for you and maybe a message for you. So now the second one, nature meditation. And this is really important that you feel very comfortable where you are. So find a place where you can sit, close your eyes, and listen to nature, feel the energy, breathe into it. So this again is a meditation that is actually happening at the same time that you are surrounding yourself by nature. A lot of times, and I've heard this, okay. So you may also want to lay in the grass as you meditate. Lay down, look at the sky. And you can also do this at night as long as you feel like you're very safe. Now, I have heard, and don't do this in public, you may want to do this in your backyard, but I've heard that it also helps that if you get skin contact to the ground as you're looking up and doing the meditation, okay, which means yes, you are naked, you are not wearing clothes, you are one with nature. Okay, so the third one I want to talk about is journaling while you are in nature. And I have done this so many times. I love to sit next to water, and I'll sit next to a pond and I'll just go ahead and start writing. If it's a poem, I start writing a poem, whatever comes to mind. Again, it's almost like channeling, or fill into what you feel like you need to write about. And you can write about the pond, you can write about your surroundings, but whatever comes to mind. Now, the next one, nature retreats. So I know there's so many spiritual retreats that you can join, and many of them that I've heard recently have been in Sedona, Arizona, which where the it's amazing energy. So you may want to attend a spiritual retreat where it's very next to nature, where you during the retreat can again walk around by yourself and maybe meditate in this nature. Sunrise and sunset, contemplation. I love this. And I've done this before. It's hard for me to get up early in the morning, but you can also do this at night whenever the sun is setting or the sunrise. And the sunrise in the morning is actually tremendous if you're out in the woods, because then you start hearing the birds. It's very interesting how the energy shifts as the sun comes up. And my husband and I want to tell you a story, stayed at a resort where we could, in Austin actually, and we could see the hill country. And so we made it a point to be there when the sun, and you could see the the sun rays coming between some of the hills. And I thought, here we go. And then all of a sudden, we start hearing the insects again. We start hearing the birds. And I'm going, wow, the energy just shifted. It's amazing. All right. So, another important thing to connect in with nature is have a sacred space creation. So, this can be in your backyard. This could be anywhere where you meditate, you do a little prayer. Have the same place. And why it's important is because you're leaving your energy there. And the energy is just familiar to you, but it's the same place where you need to go to. Now, I would not do this out in public because sometimes somebody, if you have your favorite bench at the park, and somebody may sit there, leave their energy on this bench. So you're not really able to spend time in your energy with nature. So make sure it is a place where you and you alone will be sitting. Maybe it's next to a potted plant, and that is okay. It's still giving you that energy. All right. So, I love this. So, earthing and or grounding. And what this is and why it says grounding, because a lot of times when you need to be grounded, this is perfect exercise for you. So, take off your shoes and get not really, you can do it in grass, but also get in dirt. Okay. Loose dirt is fabulous because you're getting the earth energy and you're feeling into it, and the energy is coming through your root chakra. All right, so tree hugging connection. Oh my goodness, tree hugging. Again, you may not want to do this one out in public at a public park, or maybe you can and you just show others how to love a tree. But tree hugging is such a wonderful energy healing. You can actually, if you stay there with the tree, you can start feeling the energy. And I actually get dizzy sometimes. Whenever I'm hugging a tree, I can feel it swaying. and you can start feeling the energy. And again, I get really dizzy and I have to kind of back off a little bit because it's so much energy that is penetrating through my energy. It's just a wonderful feeling. So, nature based art and creativity, I absolutely want to talk about this. So, I went to a retreat one time where we did paintings and we were able to go out in nature. I found leaves, I found limbs, I found different things, and I painted with the part that I brought in. It's almost like a scavenger hunt. And then I would dip the limbs into paint, and that would be my paintbrush. Or you can absolutely trace the leaves and paint the leaves. So this is kind of the art and creativity that really brings your soul, and think of it differently. Don't do my way. Think of a way that you can become with nature through your art. Outdoor yoga or Tai Chi is awesome. Again, you're feeling your energy, you're getting into nature. And if you do this barefoot, oh my goodness, you're going to almost like combine several of these exercises together. And, in Texas, it's very difficult to do this whenever it's 100 degrees. And I love seeing people and I love seeing groups of people outdoors doing this at parks. And now I understand because they're getting all of this energy through Mother Earth whenever they're doing the breath work for yoga and Tai Chi. All right. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode of learning how you can connect in with nature, and this will strengthen your spirituality, and you will be amazed at how much information that you receive, that we are a part of Mother Earth and Earth is a part of us. That's why a lot of time plant medicine will actually help heal you, is because we are water, we are plant, we are part of the earth. So, what I want to ask you this question as always: what are you going to do this week to increase your essence of spirituality?